A huge debate at the Oxford Union, one of the world's most prestigious debating societies, has just descended into chaos and public name-calling. The topic was explosive. This house believes that India's response to Pakistan is a populist strategy sold as security policy. But hours before it was set to begin, the entire event collapsed, leaving behind a trail of angry accusations and conflicting stories. So, what really happened? Did the Indian side get cold feet? Or was this a deliberate move by the Pakistani delegation to dodge a tough debate? Let's break it down. At the center of this firestorm is Indian lawyer and speaker J Sai Deepak. He took to social media with a detailed, blow-by-blow account that paints a picture of organizational chaos and what he calls a Pakistani gambit. His version directly contradicts the official statement from the Pakistan High Commission in London, which confidently declared victory, claiming the Indian side simply withdrew. According to Deepak, the problem started long before the debate was scheduled to happen. He pointed out potential conflicts of interest right at the top of the Oxford Union. The president, Musa Harij, is allegedly the son of Pakistan's Minister of Defense Production. The treasurer, Razan Nazar, is also a Pakistani national. Deepak suggested that this created an environment ripe for instability from the very beginning. The Indian side had its own set of challenges. The original lineup of speakers was formidable, reportedly including former Indian Army Chief General M.M. Narvane and politician Dr. Subramanian Swamy. However, just 2 days before the debate, they both pulled out, citing unavoidable commitments. This left the Indian team scrambling for last-minute replacements. Despite the incredibly short notice, J Sai Deepak, who was already prepared to argue India's case, stepped up. He managed to rally support from within the UK, bringing in Manu Kajaria and Pundit Satish K. Sharma to complete the Indian team. They were ready to go, prepared to travel to Oxford and face their Pakistani counterparts. The final, dramatic collapse happened on the very day of the debate, November 27th. At 3:13 p.m., just hours before the event, Deepak says he received a call. The message was stunning. The Pakistani delegation, which included high-profile figures like former Foreign Minister Hainar Rabbani Kar and Defense Minister Khawija Muhammad Asif, had not yet landed in London. Based on this information, the Indian team, believing their opponents were a no-show, decided to abandon their journey to Oxford. It seemed pointless to travel if there was no one to debate. But the story takes another bizarre twist. Shortly after making the decision not to go, Deepak claims he received confirmation that the Pakistani delegation had, in fact, landed. Not only that, they were already in Oxford, checked into a hotel. This new information changed everything. For Deepak, this wasn't just a miscommunication, it was a deliberate tactic. He unleashed a blistering attack, accusing the Pakistani side of deserting the battlefield even before the battle begins. He suggested they lacked the courage to face a live, unscripted debate and had manufactured a situation to avoid it. He didn't spare the Oxford Union's leadership either, criticizing them for allowing the prestigious institution's reputation to be dragged in muck, and for seemingly becoming a mouthpiece for the Pakistan High Commission's narrative. This sentiment was echoed by others. Priyanka Chaturvedi, a prominent Indian lawmaker, chimed in on social media, mocking Pakistan for crying again over the debate. She stated that this incident once again proved them to be untrustworthy and that expecting anything better was never on her list. Now, let's look at the other side of the coin. The Pakistan High Commission in London released a statement with a completely different version of events. They expressed regret that the Indian delegation, which they noted initially included heavyweights like General Narvane and Dr. Swamy, had withdrawn at the last minute. They framed this as India handing a walkover to the Pakistani side. Their statement implied that India's withdrawal was due to a lack of confidence in defending its own security policy in what they called a neutral and intellectually rigorous debate. They essentially declared victory by default. So we have two totally conflicting narratives. The Indian side says they were told the Pakistani team hadn't arrived, only to find out later that they were already in Oxford, leading them to believe it was a setup to avoid the debate. The Pakistani side says the Indian team simply backed out at the last moment, implying they were scared to argue their case. The Oxford Union, caught in the middle, has faced sharp criticism for its handling of the situation, an event that was meant to be a platform for serious intellectual exchange on a critical geopolitical issue turned into a public relations disaster. The core of the issue was supposed to be a debate on whether India's security policies regarding Pakistan are genuinely for security or simply populist strategies designed to win votes. Instead, the focus shifted entirely to who showed up and who didn't. This whole episode raises some serious questions. Was this a monumental organizational failure by the Oxford Union? Was there a deliberate attempt by one side to sabotage the event? Or was it a series of unfortunate miscommunications that spiraled out of control? J Sai Deepak's account suggests a deliberate gambit. The last-minute information about the Pakistani team's travel status, which turned out to be false, is the critical piece of evidence he presents. It's the reason his team canceled their travel plans. If his timeline is accurate, it does look suspicious. Why would someone misinform the Indian team about their opponent's arrival? On the other hand, the Pakistan High Commission statement is slick and presents a simple, clean narrative. The other side didn't show up. By naming the original high-profile Indian speakers who had already withdrawn, they subtly framed the replacement team as perhaps less formidable, and their eventual withdrawal as a sign of weakness. The truth likely lies somewhere in the murky details of who said what to whom and when. But what is clear is that a valuable opportunity for dialogue was lost. Instead of a debate on policy, we got a war of words on social media. The motion itself, concerning populism and security, is a vital topic for both nations. A public debate at a venue like the Oxford Union could have shed light on the complex dynamics between India and Pakistan. Instead, it only added another layer of recrimination and mistrust. Ultimately, the audience was the real loser here. They were denied the chance to hear reasoned arguments from both sides on a matter of international importance. The Oxford Union's reputation has taken a hit, and both delegations are now busy defending their honor rather than debating ideas. It's a classic case of the drama surrounding the event completely overshadowing the event itself. What started as a plan for a high-stakes intellectual showdown ended as a farce, leaving everyone involved pointing fingers and no one any wiser. What do you think really happened? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on complex stories like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.